Hello everyone. We are going to discuss the 18th unit of EDA 822, Supervision of Instruction in Education. As usual, we have recurrent questions here taken from the different years. We have the first question as identify at least 5 qualities of a profession. The B part says discuss any 4 requirements for professional status, and 3B from a different year now states that state any 5 qualities of a profession. With this in view, we shall discuss 1. What a profession is, that is, what is a profession? The second is what are qualities of a profession? We'd like to answer who is a professional, and the fourth question we'd like to answer in this discourse is what are the requirements for a professional status? To start with, a profession is a craft that is conservative in practice, which requires extensive and intensive training for the acquisition of peculiar skills and techniques with the aim of rendering a special service to the public. From here we can see some qualities of a profession. We have a craft that is conservative in practice. Number 2, that it requires extensive and intensive training, and this training is for the acquisition of peculiar skills. Acquisition of peculiar skills, and the essence of acquiring these skills is to render service to the public, to render a special service to the public. Now, let's discuss this in detail. All right, we have the qualities of a profession here. The first one to consider is that it is a craft that is conservative in practice. By this, we mean for any profession to withstand the pressure of time, there must be consistent efforts to protect and preserve its culture from external influences and innovations that may ruin its goal. By conservative, we mean the drive innate in every profession to protect and preserve the culture. The second one is it requires extensive and intensive training. Professional training is necessarily intensive and broad, that is very wide, to equip the individual to practice the profession effectively, that is to carry out his or her function effectively. The third quality here is it requires acquisition of special skills and techniques that can be taught only with difficulty anyway. It's not just anyhow skill or techniques that can be acquired by a common man or a layman, so to say. The fourth quality here is that it involves certification of qualified individual to practice. The certificate serves as an evidence that the individual has successfully completed his or her training and is worthy to practice such profession. The fifth quality to consider here is that it requires a strict code of ethics. We know that ethics are rules and regulations that guide the behavior of a set of people, a group of people. So by ethics here, we mean a collection of professional norms, that is, the mode of behavior expected of both potential and the actual professionals. The sixth one is that the craft entails research on both organized and individual level, and a practical application of research within the craft. The seventh quality to consider is that it has high level of social status. Professionals have this high regard among the individuals. So a profession enhances recognition and respect for individual practicing it. The last quality to consider here is responsiveness and service to the public. Every standard profession is recognized by its responsiveness to the need of the society and by its service to the public. Having seen this, let's quickly look at. Okay, now let's discuss the requirements for a professional status. In order to clearly state the requirements for a professional status, it is necessary to first establish who a professional is. We can simply define a professional as any person who is a member of a particular profession. So by requirements now, we mean the condition that must be met by an individual before he or she will be allowed to practice a given profession. And from our discussion so far, we are acquainted with the meaning of a profession, the qualities of a profession, and the meaning of a professional, which we just stated, that is a person who is a member of a profession. So for anyone to be regarded as a member of a profession, he or she must fulfill the basic requirements for admission into such a profession. Some of these requirements are what we want to discuss now. The first one is that he or she must possess minimum educational qualification. It is very necessary. That is, the individual to practice a given profession must have fulfilled the necessary academic demands and must be certified to have a legal standing to practice the profession. The second requirement is that he or she must possess the knowledge as well as the skills necessary to practice the craft. So acquisition of sufficient knowledge is required of a professional to carry out his or her task effectively and efficiently. The third one to consider here is that he or she must be acquainted with the trend of developments in the field of practice. This can be achieved by attending seminars, updating oneself with general research reports in the field, and being involved in continual research into issues of concern in the profession at individual level. The fourth one here is that it involves certification of qualified individual to practice. So the person must be certified. The certification serves as an evidence that the professional has fulfilled the academic requirement and has a legal right or standing to practice the profession. We just stated that when we're discussing the qualities of a profession. The fifth one to consider here is that he or she must be ready to abide by the ethics of the profession. So every renowned profession has a code of conduct, and the individual who will be member of this profession must be ready to abide by the rules, the regulation of this body. So a professional, therefore, is expected to operate in line with the rules and regulation of the profession. And the sixth one to consider is he or she must be ready to accept responsibility. It's very necessary. He must be ready to accept responsibility, no matter how it may be or whatever it may cost him or her. So he must be ready, or she must be ready to accept responsibility for his or her decision. All right, thanks for watching Maths Guru's video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our video so others may benefit from this service. Thank you and stay tuned.